everyone. We are alive, surprisingly. Welcome back to the Purpose Department. Man, it's been a while, hasn't it?
It's been a long time, Jay.
It's been way too long.
I'm grateful it's not been a long time since I've seen you. Like, we've seen each other.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
well, yeah.
we have to, you know.
Kinda
Well,
have
not
to,
have
but
to.
I mean,
Well, yeah, we have to, but like we
yeah.
choose to.
Kind of forced to, so.
Forced to. Exactly. But we are back. Purpose Department. Happy New Year, everyone. Hope you guys had an amazing Christmas.
Yes. Man, Christmas was fun.
Yeah.
It?
Yes, it's been good. I love all of the stuff. We didn't get to travel this year, but still, we definitely made the most of it. And of course, when you've got a little brother like yours named Makai,
it's always an adventure.
Always
no
an
matter
adventure.
What.
So as we're jumping back into it, we've got some really great things in store for 2025. And once again, just want to welcome you guys back to the Purpose Department. We've got some swag. We're actually going to throw up some links on the store for you, so we can go ahead and show you some of those things. Feel free, hook yourself up with a hat. We've got shirts, all those different things. So good. But today, really, really special. So for the past 2 years, I've been a part of this thing called the Arena. Shout out to the Arena fam, man. I love you guys. And being a part of the Arena with Erwin McManus and Aaron McManus, we've been doing all these different things, meeting every single week, going through some coaching, talking about stuff. Been diving into recently this thing called the 7 frequencies of communication. So far I've been able to share with you a little bit about some of it. But in that, I've met some great people, and not just met great people, but there have actually been a few guys that I've gotten to know. And we've started actually just making time and building a relationship. And one of those guys is here today on the pod.
Yeah.
So I want to give a big shout out to my man. He's got his Instagram handle right now is Dirt Brown Music. And we'll just have to kind of get into that a little bit as well. But my friend Mehul, what's going on, bro?
What's up? How are you?
So good, man. So good. Glad to have you with us, man. Yeah. Thanks for driving down.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad to be here. This is super awesome. I appreciate you having me here and just being on the show and checking it out and seeing how all the magic is done. Yeah,
I know. I mean, it was fun having you here, and it has been a while. And so Jay and I were like, wait, how do we set this up again?
Yeah.
Not how do we set up a camera, but just how do we set up in this room? Because it's been a while. But
yeah.
So Mehul, I mean, dude, tell us a little bit about yourself, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Mehul. I'm ethnically Indian, but I was born in this country, and I at some point after high school and college, I started rapping, and now I'm like 40 something years old, and my rap career, as you can tell, has taken off because I'm on every single streaming platform and everyone's listening to me. I mean, mad love around the world. Now, you know what? My music did not take off that much, and I had to pivot from there. And in pivoting, I had to kind of decide, okay, well, where do I want to focus my career? Where do I want to go? What is my purpose, right? Aligns with the Purpose Department. And that has led me up to here. So now I work as a strategy consultant in healthcare, work on like tech solutions, things like that. I have some psychology degrees. I have a bunch of, paperwork behind that, certifications, this and that. But yeah, that's what I do.
Wow.
Yeah, so from rapping to psychology degrees, that's kind of crazy.
Rapping and getting in people's heads, dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I bet like you have a whole thing on like the psychology of just music and like how it kind of affects people. But before we get into today's episode, I have your question.
Yeah.
I ask everybody a question if you're new to here. I ask every single person that ever comes on a question.
Okay.
And I think I have a really good one today.
Okay.
So here's your question. You can choose to answer one or the other.
Sure.
Your first one is, if you lost all memory, but like kept your exact same personality and your exact same like kind of just like way of living life, but you lost all memory.
Yeah.
What would be the first thing that you do? Like you don't remember anything. You're like in your normal day-to-day life and you just wake up one day and you can't remember anything. That's the first question. And then the second question is, what would you do if all humanity gets wiped out by something? You're the last dude on Earth and you have to set it up for the next humans that come around. What are you doing?
So part of being a strategy consultant
Here we go.
is asking qualifying questions.
Yeah.
If I'm the last dude on earth, how am I going to have other people come around?
Well, here's the thing. We don't really know how the other people get there, but they do.
But they get there. Okay.
Yeah. And you have
like that
hope
answer.
that the other people are going to get there.
Yeah. I got it. Okay. All right. So I'll go for the first one. The first question, which was if I have no memory and if I was to just wake up and do something,
Mm-hmm.
what would I do? And I think the first thing I would probably do would be probably speak and talk, because I think I talk a lot. But I think that honestly, I would talk. I would just start speaking to people, trying to communicate, trying to like engage with other human beings, because like honestly, like there's something really it gives me a lot of joy when I'm like connecting with people and connect like at a really like deep heart level. So I think that would be the first thing I would do, is just like start talking to people, start asking questions, start like picking their brains, start trying to understand like their mindset and why they think the way they do and where do they come from and where they want to go and, things like that. So, and that's how I would just start forming that, like that database in my head of like, oh, okay, this is the way the world works.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To I could answer the second question if you'd want.
If you want to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the second question was, what was it? There are no more people.
No more people. You're
Yeah.
the last person on Earth.
Yeah.
All technology works as it is supposed to.
Yeah.
Like you're kind of like just stuck in.
And
like
I'm the last person on Earth. How would I get it set up?
How would you get it set up for the next generation of people that will get to Earth?
Yeah, I would start. I would start documenting stuff, and documenting like, okay, these are like the perhaps ways of order, but not really to make rules. More like ways of order in terms of how we survive as a species moving forward. Because like, a lot of times we're giving into our selfish desires, and I think those selfish desires are dividing us more. And so having some sort of documentation for best practices of how to live would probably be like what I would start doing. I would start probably, because that's what I know how to do.
Yeah. There you go.
Really boring.
No, but that's like, yeah.
You'd be documenting and all of it.
Writing stuff down. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Maybe that's not the best idea.
No, that's actually really good though. Like I've asked a few other people outside of that question. They're like, well, first of all, I'd go on a shopping spree, get all the stuff that I want. And I'm like, seriously? I'm like, sure, yeah, you have some time to yourself, but then at the same time, you're not going to be able to get abundance of food and water.
Yeah.
Like after a while, you're not going to be able to like go watch TV.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to have a bunch of things to entertain yourself with.
Yeah.
So like the first thing is just get all the boring stuff out of the way.
Yeah.
Or like get all the stuff that's important out of the way.
Yeah.
And then try to take care of yourself.
And the thing is, it's like a lot of times you're shopping. It's like you're shopping. What are you shopping for? Like, so you're shopping for food. Fine, that's sustaining. But like, if you're shopping for clothes, a lot of times the clothes that you're wearing is representative of your personality, right? And that personality is how you choose to reflect yourself in society. So the element of having society around you to like look at what you're wearing, like it's very intentional, right? Most people, even if they're like, I don't think about what I wear, you think about what you wear
Every single day.
right? So I'm like, if there's no one on Earth, I guess, okay, if the next set of humans were coming, I wouldn't be like, how can I swag out on them? Like, I'm not going to do that, right? Like, how can I swag out on this next set of humans? So it's like, I look dope. Like I don't think they're gonna care.
It's gonna have murals of all these like 50 million selfies that Mehul
right.
walking down one street and like this whole entire wall is like Mehul swagged
like an art
out. This other
gallery.
wall has got like Mehul and like all these different kicks that he just found and has been
seriously.
wearing. And
Guys,
like-
look at these free Nikes.
Yeah.
so
Yeah, seriously. So I mean, I mean, you know, I'm just thinking about it like, what would I actually do so that people who arrive, how could you prepare the way for people who arrive so that it's like they know kind of how to make society better when they do arrive.
Yeah. I like that. I like the idea too, as far as I would think of documenting or at least describing
What
like
life
the things
was
that
like.
what life was like, what you felt,
Yeah.
what really mattered.
Yeah.
And that way you can help communicate that for those to come
Yeah.
after,
yeah,
because
yeah.
the reality of it is too is, you know, with no parameters as far as how long you might be by yourself or whatever, there will be some things that'll happen. I would imagine, like for me, I get like cabin fever, like by staying inside all day, or I like having some alone time, but I'm not an introvert, you know, so I have to have relational stuff. So if I wasn't able to have some of those different things, that I would need to help communicate some of the things that I do to help keep those parts of my mind healthy.
Yeah.
You know, and at least keep myself balanced, because I know I'd be going crazy. You know,
There's enough movies about it that like show like the end of the world scenarios, and the person like always goes crazy by the end.
They always
And
go
it's-
crazy.
I love the ones that have a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except
most
for
of the time
freaking
they have
I
a
Am
dog,
Legend,
right?
where
Like,
they
that's their
kill
only
his
companion.
dog. That's the only movie I can't stand.
What about
So,
what about
but,
Finch? The dog doesn't die.
No, Finch was
The human
cool.
dies.
On Apple
Humans
TV.
die.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that was crazy. So,
That might be a
but-
PETA thing. But
well, we're going there. Okay, sounds good.
All right, guys, politics.
Bring out all the lid
101.
stuff. All right, now here we go.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, you know, it's interesting that it's always like you have that central character and then you have like a dog, and I'm like, or some animal that they
Mhm.
connect with, right? And it's
Yeah.
like, it's almost like showing that gap in, because the dog understands your sentiment and feeling, but the dog can't speak back, but you can kind of see what they need, but you can't fully understand them, and they can't fully understand you. And I think there's something unique about that relationship as opposed to a human to human relationship where we rely primarily on just like use of words to communicate, as opposed to with dogs, there's something just an understood, an understated and like just understood sort of connection between the two.
I think dogs have a really cool sense about them.
Sense, that's the
Yeah.
word.
That's the
Yeah,
when I
yeah.
think about animals, like we have a dog. Her name's Poppy, and she's awesome. Probably best dog ever. I mean, we've only had a few, but I think dogs, because they have that sense about them, you know, to where, like, you've seen stories about people who are getting ready to have heart attacks, or people who are struggling with depression or different. I mean, that's why they make great therapy animals.
Yeah.
You know, and so the idea that they're able to connect and read and probably measure our mental or emotional state, or even physical things that are happening,
Yeah.
you know, at those moments, I think is fascinating to me.
Oh,
you know?
it is.
So-
It is. When I was a kid, I had a dog, and my parents. So any culture like is interesting because like dogs are animals. There's a separation between like animals and humans. Like you don't now people are getting dogs in India. No, you know, and like they're eating at the table type thing. But like I mean, like back in the day, like you know, it was like no. You don't have dogs in your house. What are you talking about, right? So my parents were like, no, and we're not going to take care of it, and we're not going to pay for this or whatever. But anyways, me and my sister came back with the dog, and you know, my parents couldn't like do anything about it at that point. So we had, our dog. Her name was Carolina for a while, and I remember it was like I was like in 7th grade or something, and I was an uber depressed kid, right? And so like, I don't know, like during that time, like. Me, the Carolina and myself, like I had this connection with her. She was always like there for me, even when I felt like betrayal from friendships, and I felt like I was going through my insecurities and like those feelings of, at that time you're trying to find your social,
your social like circle, your way
Exactly.
of working, your way of kind of connecting
Yeah.
and living. Yeah.
Yeah. and it
It's
was
the
just
most
me and my dog, and it was kind of a unique experience. Like it was therapy.
Yeah.
It really was until they gave her away. But sorry, mom, dad, I'm not trying to knock y'all.
But for real, you gave Carolina away.
Yeah.
Like what the heck? No.
Yeah, for real. For real.
So
I was
forgiven now though. We're okay.
I was so hurt. I did cry.
I believe it.
Thug tears. Anyway.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say my mom. Maybe that's a foreign thing. My mom did the same thing when I was younger. She got me a dog because I desperately wanted one.
Yeah.
Was so attached to it, and then I came home one day and she's like, the dog. We lived in Hawaii, and so we had balconies. And so what does she do? She tells me that the dog like fell off the balcony.
Sorry, I found that.
I know. Well, yeah. So, right. So, my mom tells me that the dog fell off the balcony. So I go and I'm like, what the heck? And I'm crying.
Yeah.
And then as I get into my teenage years,
yeah,
she tells me, no, it actually didn't do that. I gave it away.
I love parents.
Yeah, parents
and
are.
I wonder, right? Like, are you gonna have stories about your pops? Because
geez.
like, I know my son, if he doesn't have stories about me being like ridiculous,
I do. Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, it's
but that
they're
gives us
fun ones,
joy,
though.
incredible joy. By the way,
It's great because like you don't really remember it until
Yeah.
you get older.
yeah,
And there's like parts where I like remember like, oh yeah, no, it ran away, or like whatever it was, like a little animal that I had, or like whatever bug I kept in a jar or something
yeah.
like that. Like it's like I come home one day and it's gone, and they're like, oh yeah, no, it escaped. So I like go outside, look for it.
yeah.
I just dumped it outside and just left it there.
But
But
that was a bug. That's not like your dog.
hey, no,
or
but come
something.
on, that
Yeah.
praying mantis was. I was tight with
Yeah.
that praying mantis.
That was a
man.
praying mantis too.
Yeah, at least you're kinder to praying mantises than your brother. Your brother
Oh,
literally
yeah.
smashed it the other day. We had one outside our house, and he thought it was so cool. Watched it for 2 days, and then came home the next day. Kid like smacked it with the lid, and yeah.
Wait,
He-
are
he
praying
didn't even-
mantises in like abundant
Everywhere.
supply? Like,
Yeah,
really?
They're
They're-
everywhere.
I never see them.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That
maybe
is
maybe you don't
crazy.
have them out in Long Beach, but
Oh,
we got
yeah.
them here. We got them.
Okay, that makes sense. No, they probably are. I'm just like totally in my head
Well,
when
they
I'm walking
camouflage
around,
and they
so I'm not
hide,
paying
so,
attention.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
Dude,
interesting.
So funny. How the heck did we get on this, man? Thanks, Jay. This is
no,
hilarious.
no problem. No, that's why I always start these off with a question. It's because it leads to like really interesting conversations.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I do.
So, bro, with having you, having you on here, I know you and we went to this one day event at Mosaic
Yeah.
with the arena, and we got to hear Brendan Bouchard speak, and freaking phenomenal one day. It was really, really cool. But in that, we were talking, and you were like, bro, I've got some things that going on in my life, and wanting to take a step out and some different things. And so we were just chatting, kind of dreaming, getting creative,
Yeah.
doing some different things. And I mean, right now you've, you're married, you've got a little one. How old's your little one?
He's 4 years old now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know life is moving.
It is moving forward.
And things are never easy, or there's a lot of unexpected things, and
Yeah.
but it's fun, and
It
it's
is.
just crazy all at the same time.
Yeah.
But you were just telling me about some stuff, like just some of the different things that you're kind of just thinking through,
Yeah.
kind of wrestling with a little bit. I know you had also said, bro, I want to start a pod and all these different things. That's why I was like, dude, you just got to come here, and we'll help you out, launch your episode, we'll get this going, and
Yeah.
I'm excited just kind of see what
First
happens.
of all, I truly appreciate it.
Yeah.
You guys just like opening the door and allowing me to be a part of this. And like your dad was like literally like, you got to get this started. We got to get you off the ground. Are you busy in the next 2 weeks? I'm like, well, we're about to leave the country. And my wife is like frantically packing and like, oh my God, we don't have enough for the kid and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, you're going to go do a podcast right now? Really? But
Thank you so much. We
yeah,
appreciate
but
it.
there's
Thank you for
love,
letting him
there's
out.
love.
There's
No,
love.
But I mean, she has not blocked it. She has not blocked. She's been like super supportive as someone could be in the midst of that, right? So anyway, but thank you for opening the door for this. It's really cool that you would just offer that up and allow me to kind of think through some of this.
Yeah.
but yeah, like, so I've been, it's interesting. You go through, I was, I think Hollywood, I think the music industry, I think all of that really impacted me, and culture. It's impacted culture and it's impacted me. And so growing up, like I, always wanted to do something great, be great, right? And I think, when I started rapping, I'm like, I did it for a little bit and I'm like, I'm going to be a rapper. And then for some reason, it was obviously, like, not for some reason, like I wasn't good at first, and then I got better, and now I think I'm good, but still it's not like, it's all about how much you sell or whatever out there, right?
Mhm.
And so when I didn't, quote unquote, make it as a rapper, as a professional vocation, I was like, oh, what do I do? And so for the past so many years, I was like, well, life continued. I was getting older. I got bald, had a, and then met my wife, got married, all of this stuff. And I recognize that, I can't focus on that as my vocation or source of income necessarily. And it's got to be, if it's going to be something, it's going to be a hobby. Long story short, from there, now I've been like, oh, well, let me go ahead and, I think God has been meeting me in very intriguing ways through people, through connections, through the arena and all the various communities we got. And I have, a really strong group of buddies who are just like really encouraging of me kind of getting this out. Mm-hmm. And I think a podcast is sort of like that next progressive step forward to use this ability to communicate with the world in a way that is positive. So I'm not really sure what's going to come of it, but I know I'm going to probably start a podcast. And we're working on names and stuff like that, but it's coming from this idea of like, it doesn't have to be a plan A, plan B, or plan C. It's like we're multifaceted human beings, and we can take all of these elements in and be authentically ourselves. Yeah. So that's really what it's, about. And I think that there's a lot of people who have really unique personalities, who have really interesting things that we get to, see and hear from them that are usually go unheard because they're so busy in the day-to-day normal life. A lot of times our society just focuses on like celebrities, and that's not really what we want to do all the time. Like, I've heard enough celebrities. I want to hear some like normal people and making some extraordinary choices in their personal lives and how that kind of moves the needle forward. That's really what, I'm passionate about. Yeah, so that's kind of where the direction is.
That's really good.
Yeah.
And then, no, I like what you said about like seeing like normal people making like choices that like move the needle forward. I love that. And then also it's kind of crazy because whenever normal people make crazy choices, then they become a celebrity.
Yeah.
And then it kind of like, you kind of have to like find a line.
Interesting, yeah.
You have to like find a line between like, okay, what's a celebrity? And then like, what's right? What's wrong? Like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? And kind of like find because whenever someone becomes famous or does something like remarkable, there's always a chance that they're going to like take off and then nothing's going to stop them after that. Right. Yeah. So, I like what you said about like finding normal people, but then I'll also like spark the little thought in my mind of just what does it really mean to stay humble and then not like let the fame kind of control you after you've kind of gotten your start.
Yeah. That's a great insight. I think staying humble after you've received public validation is to know why you're doing it in the first place. And if why you were doing it in the first place was only for that external validation, like validation from the rest of the world, then that's going to be your driver. And that's where it can spiral, right? Yeah. And unless you're at the top, it's just going to always feel like you're chasing something. And when you're at the top, you're going to still feel like you're chasing something, but it's never going to be like enough.
Mm-hmm. It's like with music artists, right?
Yeah.
Or like filmmakers or just like like sports players.
Yeah.
Whenever they're at the top, they think that there's still something above that. They have to be greater than they already are.
Yeah.
And then they kind of down spiral after that because they put all of their energy into not just savoring what they have, but to try and get what they don't have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think knowing why you're doing it has to be like at the crux of it, at the core of everything that you do. Why are you doing this, and what is the meaning that you're deriving from the action that you're taking? Have you ever heard of like cognitive behavioral therapy?
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not a therapist, but I've had many therapy sessions. I've had many therapy sessions in my head, and with multiple therapists. But anyways, it's about thoughts, feelings, and emotion. All right, thoughts, behaviors, and emotions, and all of those are triangulated. Like there's this triangle, and I mean, go look it up, but it's this triangle, and it's basically like one can influence the other. So thoughts can influence behaviors and feeling, or feeling can influence thoughts and behavior, or the third angle, right? So it's looking at it from like all of those perspectives and like understanding if is what I'm doing actually driven by some form of purpose. And I think that purpose, I've come to believe, I can't say this is universal for everybody, but at least I've come to believe that purpose has to be in some way serving others, serving people, to a greater extent, like whatever that means. Yeah. If it's not serving others, I think it's just going to like end up just going ablaze.
Yeah. Well, I think when you're talking about all of this stuff, I look at it this way. We're so quick as a human race, as humanity, right, is very, very quick to put on a pedestal, and then we're also very quick to tear down.
Yeah.
There's nothing like putting someone up there who has achieved and aspired and accomplished things that we only dream about or strive for.
Yeah.
But then it also feels really good for us as humanity to tear people down to where they're under our feet, and it's like, good. Like, because now we feel like we're in the different position,
Yeah.
But I look at that, and it's, what makes a person famous, right? It's in a lot of ways, it's being known.
Mm.
All of us, I believe we have this internal desire to be known.
Yeah.
Now, in what capacity and what it may look like is different. I think with technology and social media, like all of us actually have the opportunity of being known, of being found.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in that, there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's great. I think with technology and different things like podcasts and social media, in some ways, it has the opportunity to almost kind of microwave the opportunity to be known in a greater capacity.
Yeah. Yeah.
But deep down inside, being known is one thing, but then like being known for who you are.
Yeah.
Right. There's two things of it: being known for who you are or what you do.
Yeah.
I would rather be known for who I am than by what I do, because what I do will automatically over time will fade. It loses its value because guess what? The reality of it is there are a lot of people doing the same thing or just doing something.
Yeah.
But the essence of a person and who they are, that's something that I feel transcends time.
Yeah.
Because I look at, for instance, I'm a movie junkie, and I think of movie characters from certain movies that I love watching, growing up with especially, and it's those characters, they made me feel something. They brought me to a place because of who they were.
Yeah.
And that transcends time a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. No, 100%.
So I think in a lot of ways for us, 100%. Even for those who are watching or listening too, it's, when you're talking about purpose and you're just talking about your life, what are we, not even just the why, right? Like I think having a why is great, because I think in a lot of ways having the why is what helps keep me motivated to keep going.
Simon Sinek, start with why.
Yeah, right. But in reality, if I can do all of the whys, but if I don't know who I am, it's still broken.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a great point. And thinking about like being known and for who you are as opposed to what you do is also like in the midst of if you're known for who you are, I think you will feel seen.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're known for what you do, you're probably not going to feel seen in the midst of that. And I think feeling seen is that piece that validates us to continue to do what we do.
I guess I would push back a little bit.
Yeah, please do.
So
I love it.
Do you think, I hear you saying being seen, but
Feeling seen.
Feeling seen. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I would think when you know who you are, it doesn't matter if you're seen or not. That as far as like that diminishing your value or what you're doing.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, it does. I think, but the thing is that we don't fully like. So I guess I operate under the premise that like nobody fully knows who they are, because if you know fully who you are, then that means you're not. There's some level of like there are capabilities that you can do in the future that you may not be aware of now.
Yeah.
And if you're fully aware of who you are, then you won't be able to achieve those capabilities in the future or achieve that in the future. Like, I guess we're all works in progress. That's what I'm trying to say, right? Nobody knows like who they fully are. I think we know who we are to a certain extent, and we become more cognitively aware of who we are as time goes on. But at the end of the day, who we are is very much like it can be stirred and shaken up by the various circumstances. It can be shaken up by beliefs. It can be shaken up by anything that, right? And you might be capable of more than who you think you are at a given moment.
Yeah.
Wow. Dang, that's like, that's and I'm just processing that. That's really good.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it this way, who you are today, you have the opportunity to be a completely different person tomorrow. But here's what I mean by that. Yeah. So finding a way to be comfortable in your own skin, to be comfortable just with where you're at in the present moment, knowing that you're not stuck there.
Yeah.
But you're able to still keep growing, or you're able to keep not even maybe growing. I would actually push back and just say, hey, I've got more to learn. I'm not done yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So living your life in such a way like that, to where then, because I completely agree, like where I am today, thinking back of where I was last year, and I thought that was such a huge stretch for me, stepping out of my job and going into the business and doing all these different things and all of that. It's wow.
Yeah.
But I would have never seen that coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was knowing that I could have just the willingness.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the humility to say, you know what, I don't know everything.
Yeah.
And I've got lots to learn. And so if I can somehow live my life in such a way that where I'm a sponge and figure out how I can always be absorbent.
Yeah.
And repelling the wrong things.
Yeah.
But then absorbing the right things that help build me up a little bit more.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. I mean, 100%. Like, I think that there's this place where, like they say, and I think this is very true. A lot of times when it's like something they say, it's usually, it's really bad. But I think that this is actually true, which is, the more you know, the more you recognize that you don't know very much. Yeah. And there's more that you don't know. Mm-hmm. Right. And so I think that there's like this idea, and this is where, like, if you think about it, like you know, people who are like 60, 70 years old who are like, I am who I am and this is all I can do. Right. And then there's 60, 70-year-olds who are like, I'm going to change my life now, like at 70. I'm like, and those people always fascinate. They're just so fascinating because it's like, even after you had been set in so many ways for so long, and knowing you're at this like what we call the tail end of your life, you're literally trying to like change because you can see something better for your life at that age. I think that's like dope. Like I want to be old and like doing cool stuff. I mean, like Erwin McManus, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he's older and he's doing his thing. Like he is popping off, right? And he is doing his thing. And I mean, like, man, that's I want to be old and doing something cool, right? Like I don't want to be old and being like, well, I guess I'm gonna go to the gym today, or maybe I won't. Maybe I'm just gonna sit around and play bingo. You know, like that's cool too.
Yeah.
If that's all you can think you're capable of putting out, but I never want to retire. I want to continue working till like I'm dead, and I just want to say that now. But I'm saying that because I want to be doing something that I love and keep expanding my ability, expanding my capacity, at an older age.
Yeah.
You think about that as just kind of like, you see those people that like rapidly change their lives at like 60 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they're like going out and they're like starting businesses, or they're like dropping like absolute like crazy just like books, or just like speeches, and they're just going out and completely changing their lives. And then I think that sometimes we just look at those people and we're like, why can't I do that? But then us like looking at those people and saying like, why can't I do that? We're kind of like sometimes we put ourselves in a place to where it's like, well, I think I'm already fully developed, because I've met a lot of people my age who are like, yeah, no, I'm fully developed. Like, this is who I am. Like, I fully believe I'm going to go to Wall Street and trade stocks for a living. Or like, I fully believe I'm going to go and become a famous politician. Or like, I fully believe I'm going to go and become a famous like artist. Those people don't leave any room for self-improvement, and whenever they get like rejected, or whenever they get like put down, or whenever they get like told no, it's like a punch in the face, and they're like, okay, what happened? I devoted my entire life to this, so why did it not work out for me? And I feel like that's part of purpose. If we try to determine our purpose too early and don't let God work with it, or don't let ourselves like fully develop over time, then we're going to be getting punched in the face constantly. And we're always going to be disappointed, because we're never going to be at the top. Like you said earlier, like we're never going to be good enough to our own standards.
Yeah.
Because we've always been so used to just sitting in it and just staying where we are. And then like we can't really bring ourselves to change.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're so comfortable with our routine, which is why it's kind of like life checks. And that's probably why a lot of older people are kind of like changing their lives right now and just doing a bunch of crazy stuff. It's because they're like, I'm old. I might die soon. Like, let me go do a bunch of crazy things. Yeah. And let me just go and try to change my legacy, kind of. And I think that's a big part of it too.
Don't you think I always think it's really beautiful, because I understand that's kind of the pressure that they feel. That's kind of their crossroads, right? Even for me at like, I'm going to be 42, or I'm 42. Yeah. So, but right at 40, 41, I'm changing professions and changing like everything that I've been doing literally for 20 years. And now I've had to kind of go through a whole new metamorphosis of change and growing into something different.
And I've gotten to watch that. Like, I grew up in the church, literally 4 days a week. Probably I was at
least 4 days a week.
At least 4 days a week. Like, I was at the church, helping and sleeping there and just like doing a bunch of stuff there. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you, but it's like, it's so funny because I've gotten to watch us like him shift from like, hey, let's go do this. And then like, he's like staying at the church until like 2 a.m. Yeah. To like, now he's like, hey, I'm going to go film for this guy. who's doing this and he used to be this. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I would have never met someone like that if we kind of like stayed where we were. So it's been like really, really cool to watch my dad kind of just step out and then like basically flip our entire life around in a good way.
Yeah.
And kind of just like shake everything up and say like, hey, let's go and try to do this today. And it's really cool. I've really enjoyed it.
What I was thinking, thanks, buddy. I love you. I guess in a lot of ways, and this is what I was going to say too, is, you know, for those who are a little bit further down the road than we are, you know, they hit that they hit that crossroads where they have to make a decision and they feel the pressure and the squeeze. But then in reality, they're almost kind of reminded, like, this is how I can start living again. Mm. And even for me, you know, like this past year or so, I've been reminded, like even when I first entered into the arena 2 years ago, I was like, wow, there's other people who question the same things and are wondering and I don't, because I always felt like a black sheep in certain ways. And and it was like, I had permission. Yeah. And not even just permission, but it was almost like validated or just like, it's okay. Yeah. You know? And this idea of, I can really make the most of each moment of every opportunity if I just choose to live it. Yeah. You know? And so I think for all of us as humans, as men, women, teenagers, whatever, we know it, like we're capable of so much. Like there is no lid in a lot of ways. Yeah. Yeah. There really is no lid, but yet what are the lids or the limitations that we put on ourselves? Yeah. That cause us to stop really living.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Like, one, there needs to be more communities that exist that challenge the status quo, you know, because they're unfortunately, you know, even in like church communities or even in like large groups, like, you know, think tank, things like that, that groupthink sort of mentality happens and people aren't willing to challenge. There's very few communities that exist that are willing to challenge you to the extent of pushing you to be your best self at that given time in your life, right? So I think that it goes also back to the very first question, where it was about, you know, if you woke up without any recollection of any of your memories, what would you do? Right. And this is why like communication is so important, because when we connect with other people, we find a sense of like validation. We find those things in ourselves, like to connect with them about, and they bring out something better in us. Like even this conversation, like the energy of this conversation, it is bringing about all these thoughts. We're going to take these thoughts and then be like, oh, and for the individuals in here who are like, not like, completely paralyzed and thought, I'm like deer in the headlights, dude. But for y'all who actually take thoughts and do something about it, you're going to, you know, maybe go and like actually connect certain pieces and like create something out of it, right? You know, and I should be doing the same. Like I respect your dad's hustle too, because like I'm like, bro, you're like, you're doing this and you're doing that, and you started your own agency, and it's just like, whoa, like, you know, like, and I think that that's so cool. Just the idea of like, whatever situation comes at me, I've got the capability to pivot and figure it out. Yeah. Anything that's thrown at me, I will figure it out. Yeah. And that's how I'm going to grow. That's how I'm going to expand my capacity. That's how I'm going to learn. And I won't be stifled at like 70, 80, because whatever's thrown at me then, I'll figure it out.
And always remember too, like one, yes, you'll figure it out. But guess what? You actually, and this is what I've been reminded of in my journey lately, is that because I'm that same like driven, like, oh, I'll figure it out. But then I have to remember, oh yeah, I don't have to do it alone though, Pete. Yeah. Like there's other people if you just reach out. Yeah, that's
true. I'm gonna reach out, bro. I'm gonna reach out because I'm like, I need to reach out more because this energy is good.
Yeah,
you know,
it really is.
Yeah.
So I love that, man. I love that.
Yeah.
I really like the challenging the status quo, because that's something that like it's all over like social media. It's like challenge the status quo, don't be like everybody else, and like, but it's all like really cringe, right?
Yeah,
because it's like so overused, and
Yes,
like the term is broken. Like it does not mean what it actually means. Yeah. I constantly will try to challenge like authority or like the status quo, because I want to think for myself. Yeah. And I'm not gonna like pull like one of the things where it's like, well, the like government is trying to brainwash us and we're all just gonna.
You have fun with those sometimes though.
Yeah, I do. But
then you found all my big giant drones that I was flying in Jersey. I'm kidding.
Yeah. Hey, we don't talk about that, okay? That's what my room is used for now. No, but
we're in California. We don't have that much real estate in our rooms, dude. Sorry. First world problems. No, I'm kidding.
No, yeah. No, but it's like, it's really crazy, because if you look at it from like the conspiracy theorist way, it's like, yeah, no, the schools are like destroying the children's minds, or like the average work job, or social media is like brainwashing us and all this stuff. It's not all true. None of that is like true. Yes, sure, schools could do a better job to let kids be more creative. Yes, sure, social media could be more honest and could be less like biased in certain areas. And like work could be formed differently. Yeah. But how is that going to happen without someone doing something and actually pushing back and going back against it? Because you can sit in front of your phone all day doing your social media platform saying that you're being brainwashed and saying that people need to be more creative. Yeah. But you need to be the person that's going to do something about it if you're going to be talking about it, right? Yeah. And I really think that the best way to get something started is to do it yourself. Like, sure, people are going to be inspired and people are going to go do this, but it's always going to get out of control no matter what you do. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Especially with the form of like status quo, which people have taken to like authority. Yeah. Like,
you know, it's interesting because I think it's like you challenge the status quo, but you have to ask, why am I challenging it? Right. Mm-hmm. And if you're challenging it just for the sake of being an individual, I think we are all individuals. I think we all have our unique thumbprint for, you know, and we've been designed independently, individually, in our own unique way. And I think that that's beautiful. I think Hollywood might have made, you know, had something to do with it too, you know, with in terms of making that seem like that's the end all to the to it. And that's not, you know, because then you have these collectivistic societies, right? A collectivist society is where, you know, it's all about social responsibility and what you offer the greater community, right? So it's not just all about individuality, and it's not all about collectivism. There is some form of there's shades of gray in between that, right? Yeah. I think that there's that exists, and I think it's you know, like you were saying, Pete, like you always have to start with why. Like, why am I challenging the status quo? Is it just for independent individual gain? Well, that's gonna wear out. Even if you get it, even if you get that individual, you know, like you're filthy rich, you're gonna be depressed at the end of it, right? But if it's something about, and some people don't believe that. Some people be like, no, if I'm filthy rich, I won't be. Okay, well, whatever, you know. Try it out, check it out. But I would say, at the end of the day, it's like, find that shade of gray, but also know where, when you insert yourself into the equation in society, what value are you adding to society?
Yeah. Don't just do it for clout, right?
Don't just do it for clout. That's the quotable.
Yeah. I like that. Here's another thought or another perspective on looking at it. I get the challenge the status quo. But in a lot of ways, I think we say we'll challenge the status quo. Yeah. But in reality, what we're doing is we're just criticizing.
Wow.
Yeah. Whereas challenging, it's something internal.
It's like bringing it up.
It's the sifting that's happening internally. That's the challenge, because the challenge then it's my mental framework, it's my thought process, it's my my emotional values.
Right.
So in reality, in some ways I almost see it as people, they say they're going to challenge, but what they're really doing, and what a lot of us fall into, is this trap of just criticism. But if we're really being challenged, then how I, in a healthy way, and this is just how I'm seeing it right now, is, okay, I'm being challenged because there's something that's missing. I feel it. There's a vacuum. There's a void. There's a lack, or there's a feeling that I know can be attained, but how do I get there? So now that challenge that's happening internally, now it's actually driving me to create.
Yeah.
And so in some ways, that's where, you know, as you guys were talking about, I was like, I really think in a lot of ways, it's more along the lines of recognizing, are we being, so not challenging, are we being challenged, and what is being challenged within us? Because I think when we're challenged in an unhealthy way, it leads to straight criticism all day.
Yeah.
Or soapboxes, or, you know, or vendettas, like vindictive, like just like, oh my gosh. Right.
Yeah.
But then in reality, when if you have the right mindset and you're standing on it in the right way, because I think of those guys who, you know, they want to challenge the status quo. It was all internal.
Yeah.
It wasn't because of, so what? This is what happened to me. That didn't define them.
Yeah.
It didn't limit them, but it was the challenge that stirred things enough to where it was like, boom, something happened. It drove them to action.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know. Those are just some thoughts that came to mind.
I mean, I love it. I'm like, yeah, I mean, the challenge, it's not challenging externally, it's challenging yourself from within. Because when you challenge yourself from within, then that's where the true change.
And that's the only thing we
change, be
right.
the change.
And that's the only thing we can control.
Yeah.
You know, when there's a challenge, if I keep it within that internal thing of like, okay, here's not an obstacle, here's an opportunity. Wow, and there's something challenging about it. How can I rise above it? What can I do? What can I create? What kind of processes or steps do I need to take? Okay, I need to do this. I need to do, like, there's something life-giving about it. There's something, you know, there's just energy to it.
Yeah.
And I think
I like that.
I think like with what you said of kind of just like the why, and then oh my gosh, what was it? You were saying like oh yeah, no, the people that challenge the status quo always have like a why to it. And then like, wait, what were you saying earlier? My mind just went blank.
I said sometimes people will say they're challenging, but they're really just criticizing.
No, a little bit after that. It was, man, I don't know. No, you know what? I was gonna bring up like Hollywood really over dramatizes part of that to where it's kind of like, hey, you're gonna challenge the status quo. Yeah, and then they're gonna be like, "Hey, you're gonna challenge the status quo," so that means that you're gonna become the villain of the story. And like, you watch superhero movies, and you watch like drama and just like action movies. It's like the guy that challenges the status quo always becomes the villain.
Yeah,
and then like,
well, it becomes and that challenging. It has that negative connotation where you either are the vigilante or like you've got this vendetta that you're pushing. Yeah. And it's like now you against the world.
Yeah,
you know,
it's you against the world.
Yeah,
that narrative of like you against the world, or it's like
it's never that.
Even if you're challenging a status quo that's evil, right? Like it's an evil, like the way things are, and you're challenging that. I mean, even that, like, I think it's interesting because they're like, you're always feeling like you have to. I guess I always look at those things and it's like these one-time events that happen. It's like, this is the only time you've ever challenged anything. And this is like the biggest challenge of all time, as opposed to challenges being like a daily sort of set of steps that you take that is constantly challenging the status quo in your life day to day. And challenging the status quo in terms of the negativity in your life day to day, because if we make those little steps every day, then those big things are not so overwhelming. But usually it's showing this like going from nothing to something story, because that makes for a good 2-hour movie. But really it's like, no, it's a day by day process that you have to kind of go through. I only learned that in life now, right? When I was like 18, I was like, living in La La Land in my head, like I'm gonna be a famous rapper. Nah, bro, like that's not how this thing works. You got to put in work, like day by day by day. I didn't put in that work that like a lot of these other artists did.
And then, but here's the reality too. Even if you put in the work, you're not promised that.
Yeah, you're not promised that at all, and that's okay.
Yeah,
that's okay, because the thing is that that goes back to your point. You are not. It's not about what you do. It's who you are, right? And it's about the person inside. So it's like, me as a person doesn't need to stop progressing just because I didn't make it in music.
Yeah.
That's okay. I can continue to grow and be a person of substance and character and have a lot of multifaceted things. And I'm still writing bars. I don't know if it's good.
I know, man.
Everybody likes it.
Yeah.
I like it though. I think it's dope.
We're gonna have to play something underneath. So you get us something. We can play it just for fun.
I'll rap a little something for you if you want me to on this now. But
right now,
I'll do it. Yeah.
Oh, dude, he just throw. He's ready to throw down.
You want me to? I don't know. It might make the ratings go down, bro. Like I don't know.
No.
Yeah, you want me to do? You want me to spit something?
All right, sure, man. All right, give us something.
Oh,
yeah.
This is one. This is actually the one I'm gonna work for the
pod.
For the pod.
Okay.
So you guys tell me. You got to be honest though. Like
okay. Do you have the underlying beat, or you just got the lyrics?
I got the underlying beat, but it won't. I got the. I mean, I can send it to you later.
Yeah.
Or I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Or if you could just play it and then go over it.
It may not work.
I'm the music guy. I'm like, I want to hear this stuff. So go ahead, go.
Yeah. Okay. Here. Yo, this a new birth, new beat, new earth, new me. My chi be like water. Man, I'm Bruce Lee. I am ruling over self-sabotage. This is a clap back. Ain't no round of applause. This is my snapback. Thinking cap rap, no cap. Mind over matter, matter of fact. Mind splits matter. Hazmat for the splatter of atomic habits every day. Yeah, it's a new birth, new beat, new earth, new me. Yeah, I changed a lot. Let me reintroduce me. Reintroduce me, trying to do better. Let me reintroduce me. No more groupthink, no more following trends. I'ma do me. No more limiting beliefs that reduce me, cause it weighed down like a tombie. Yo, it's a new birth, new beat, new earth. Help you ready for this ride like an Uber. Let your heartbeat speak when the truth hurts. Let your soul expand like the universe. Let's go back to a time when we was human first, before AI plagued lives with the Google verse, before target ads, market fads that ruined the earth, before we toiled in our labor when we knew we cursed. We was a new birth, new beat, new church. We was nude, unashamed and naked, making love. It was nothing crude. Unashamed and naked, not jaded by the bitter feuds. Unashamed and naked from a psychoanalytic view. Could have been repression, power struggle, tension, desire for the best fit, smartest, richest, bestest. Reason why you ain't transparent in your message, because you don't trust my intentions. But I'm a new birth, new beat, new person, new beliefs, promise to better. Let me reintroduce me. Yeah,
dude, that was awesome. All right,
no way.
That's cool. I like it. All right, we need to
just talking about challenging the status quo. That is crazy. That is crazy.
It ties into what we were talking about. So that's kind of cool.
That was fire.
Thank you, brother.
Like,
I appreciate it.
Let me reintroduce the new me, and I think that's my favorite part.
That was another one of the names I was playing with. Let me reintroduce me.
Yeah, dude,
that's fire.
Yeah,
I like that.
Okay,
I like that.
Oh, heck yeah.
We gotta talk then. I gotta figure this out.
Yeah, man, we got. But dude, that's it, man. Challenges are gonna come all the time. But can we internalize it in such a way that it causes us to really rise above?
Yeah.
Bro, I love who we're becoming, man.
Yeah.
Facts. Right there.
40 is way better than like when I was younger. I will tell you that. It's way funner if you're like just willing to kind of take life's challenges and go with the ride and just enjoy it. It's like it's literally just perspective. It's a perspective change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perspective for sure, and then an intentionality of making the most of it. Because even if you have the right perspective, you gotta still give something to it.
Yeah.
Because I know some people who have got great perspectives on stuff, but then they still do jack like they don't do anything.
Yeah.
And so it's that knowing and acting. Like
Yeah.
You know, so. Dude, fire. Dude, bro.
Awesome.
I want you to write one for us.
I will.
Heck yeah, dude.
That was awesome.
Dude, because I can't rap. I can rap presents. That's it.
I can do purpose department. I got you.
Dude,
I can
heck.
do something.
All right. Hell yeah, dude. Let's do it.
Because I love what you guys are doing. I love the branding. I love the agency. I love like the idea, like creatively. Even though I haven't really sunk my teeth into all of it. I'm like, whenever we talk about it, I'm like, wow, this is really dope what you're doing.
Well, it's more
We need more of it.
It's morphed so much because I mean, first off, right? I started the creative agency with my friend, called it More Creatives, and then I step out full time, and God's like, "Hey, I want you to start speaking," and I was like, "Okay," and you're gonna build the whole thing. So then it was like, what do I? It kind of went to the ethos of like, what always comes out? Oh, purpose, cool. And then I started it out. I mean, Jaiden laughs at it. I laugh at it now. I don't even want to say it because it was like, well, let me just do this Pete on purpose type thing. Like, bro, it was It was cool at the time. No. Like, it felt like I felt like I was in the right direction. It didn't hit, but like, all right, it's a start.
I know. So whenever he told me that name, I broke out laughing. And like, and his face whenever I did that, he was like, I'm gonna whoop you. And I was like, okay, I'm scared now. But I was like,
but I knew it was no other way. You would want the pure authenticity.
Yeah,
right?
and it was so fine. But I knew it was part of it was a process though. Like there was something in it, and I didn't know what it was. And then went with talking with my buddy and then it was like, oh yeah, we're going to go because I want to do a clothing thing. And he's like, what about that? And it was all of a sudden, it was like, oh, purpose department.
Yeah.
And then guess what? All the web domains for .com were available.
Yeah.
Okay, God, thank you.
Yeah.
Right, we were just talking about .coms earlier, and it was like, it was available.
Yeah, that's dope.
Wow, what the heck? So I got them both, and I was like,
that's how you know God is like there.
Right. And then it was like, and then we're
available,
and then we're gonna do,
and
then and then we did the podcast. Like we started because I was like, let's do it. And so purpose department, and it was like, okay, cool. And then of course life hit this fall, and it was like we took a kind of a break, but now then, kind of branching out on my own with my creative agency, it was like, dude, the only thing that came to mind was like creators department,
and that was available too.
And that was available as well. And I was like, what in the world? Okay, God, cool. Purpose department is kind of the personal, and the why, the mission.
The swag. And I was like, that's a dope brand. Like, where'd you get that from? And I didn't, before I knew it was yours.
We have hats. Do you have the hats?
Yeah, we have a hat. I'll grab it. We'll get you a hat.
I'm gonna cop a hat, by the way.
No, dude, but the hats, the print is sick.
Yeah.
Like,
you like blue or black?
I like black.
There we go.
Oh, I'm gonna cop that.
Dude.
This is dope. That's it. I'm gonna wear it. Can I wear it?
Yeah, you can wear it, bro. It's yours. It's your hat, man. It's your hat. Yeah, we got all the stuff. We just got to launch everything. So it's going live today, baby. And we're going to push the links. We've got to do some product stuff. We're still waiting on our shirts, but it's going to be good.
I like this too because it's like, look, this is another thing you might learn, and this is totally off topic. But when you're a 40-year-old man, and I got other artists that I love and adore, like that were like artists that like are amazing to me. I can't walk around like with the Jay-Z t-shirt on. It just doesn't fit. Right? So if it's something that has a message behind it and it's like I align with the message, it's cool.
Yeah.
But if it's something that's just got another man's face on it and it's like
like, I know, man.
I'm like, nah, I'm not into that. Like
yesterday,
Yesterday,
one of my teachers came to school in the Tupac shirt.
Yeah.
I'm like, Tupac's great.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
I'm questioning your midlife crisis right now.
I know. No, I'm like, I've seen students wear it.
Sorry.
But this is like an older guy coming to school in a Tupac t-shirt.
I'm just questioning your choices. It's just apparel,
it was
sir. That's
so
all.
funny because I don't know if he's a teacher or not because I haven't seen him around. But it was like so funny.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, I'm sorry, but no.
But it's like, vintage.
Yeah, but it's vintage.
It's not vintage.
You and I, we're vintage, bro.
We are vintage.
We're like vintage now,
2090s,
period.
Man.
That's it.
I'm like,
Hopefully we're aging like wine and not cheese.
bro, man. Hey, all I know is I'm Asian and I don't raisin, so that's good,
true,
dude.
that's
I'll
true.
take it all day. Now I got whites, but that's just
Hey, no.
from
you
all the
should-
rice I've
I told
eaten.
him he should grow like Mr. Miyagi, little goatee and then the hair, but he keeps saying no. He's gonna.
Yeah, no, man, no thanks.
I kind of like now, like I like looking old. It's
Yeah.
actually, this is challenging
You
the
just
status
scare
quo.
teenagers more.
Yeah, I really do. It's like I like looking old. I don't know why. It's actually like it's a much better place for me. I don't know. Because I think maybe I was so concerned about like looking swaggerific or like people don't use that word anymore, right?
That is
Like,
awesome. I'm
You
gonna
know,
start
back
using
in the
that
day,
word. I'm
I
gonna
was
start
trying to be
using that
so
word.
cool. I was
Swaggerific.
trying to be so freaking cool, and I'm like, oh my gosh, cringe, right? And
Yeah.
so like now I'm like, I kind of like looking like, yeah, I'm a dad with a toddler. So like most of the time, that's what I'm like looking like or dressed like or whatever, right? Like I mean,
Well, this right here is fire though. Those shoes, I want those.
Nike
those
clearance
are cool.
outlet, baby.
Those
Nike
are
clearance
awesome.
outlet,
I'm like, I
right?
saw those shoes and I'm
Yeah.
like, those are cool.
Yeah, I'm wearing it like with an Old Navy sweater and like, this is from, I don't know where this is from, but just, like tech vests and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
love that.
So good.
The dad swag.
Dad swag. Heck yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
I think there's an actual brand.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
Hey, well, guess what? If there's not one, then
Should
We can
start
we
it.
can
All
add
three of
it.
us, we
We
gotta
can add
start
it.
it.
Yeah.
We'll add it, baby.
Dad
Let's
swag.
do it.
That'd be dope.
Awesome.
awesome. Dude, this was a really good episode.
We're back, baby.
Yes, we are back.
It actually
That's
feels
what's up.
good to be back. It's
No.
been a long time, and I always say it. I love Cool Runnings. I don't know if you ever seen that movie.
Feel the rhythm. Feel the
And,
rhyme.
but I think of, I'm like, man, we've been through a whole heap, Sanka. Yeah, man. You know. But hey, we made it, and there's still more to do, and there's still more to be. So, dude, bro, I appreciate you, man. I'm glad that our paths crossed
Same here, bro.
through the arena.
Yeah.
Shout out
And
to the
this is
arena
not the
fam.
end of it. This is-
No,
we're
yeah,
gonna
heck yeah,
continue
man.
to cross.
Heck yeah, we got to
work
get
do.
we got
gotta
lots to do.
Bring him back on.
So
I would love to come back on.
yeah,
That would
let's
be
do it,
amazing.
man.
He'll do a music special for us.
I'll, if y'all want, I'll
Yes.
have beats ready.
Yes, Purpose Department.
beats
Let's
ready.
do it.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right. Well, hey, once again, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. If you haven't yet, subscribe, like, share, all those good things. You can follow us at purposedepartment.com for the website. That's actually all of our clothing stuff there. And then, on social media, that jazz. You can give Jaiden and I some love. Follow Mehul at Dirt Brown Music.
That's all I got.
So
right
that's
now.
where we're
But
at right now,
eventually
and
there will be
it's gonna
more.
be there's gonna be more. It's gonna be good, but
Follow me there now, and then we'll change it.
yeah,
Whatever it needs to change to.
we'll
But
change it.
Start there.
Yeah.
Start there.
So, but hey, as you guys are living out the new year, let's go for it. Let's go for it. So
Yes.
until then, we'll see you again next time on the Purpose Department. So
great seeing you guys. Just remember, we are back.
all right, see you guys. Bye.